Mr Deputy
The
President.
Honourable Adam Searle.
Mr Deputy President, the Adani coal mine proposal in Queensland's Galilee Basin should not proceed. It should not proceed if you support the coal industry in New South Wales and the many jobs and economic support it provides to the regions and to the state as a whole. Based on the information publicly available, we already know that the proposed Adani mine in Queensland does not stack up environmentally or even economically. If it is such a great idea, why is it seeking a $1 billion federal loan from the Commonwealth Government? It's also now a matter of record that the Big Four banks won't fund the Adani mine. This is a pretty clear indication that it's a banana economically. Banks are not known as philanthropic outfits or for their social conscience, but they do know how to make a buck. If they're not willing to invest in something, it's probably not going to get a great return. It's now also clear that the Adani mine proposal represents a clear and present threat to the New South Wales economy and to the state budget. The increase in the global supply of coal, thermal coal by about 6%, which the Adani mine would represent, would put downward pressure on prices received by New South Wales coal exporters and would slash mining royalties paid to the state government by tens and possibly hundreds of millions of dollars per year, undermining the integrity of the New South Wales budget and its capacity to deliver basic services. It would also put existing mine operations and jobs in New South Wales at risk. This was the evidence given by Adani to the Queensland Land Court in connection with the approvals in Queensland. They acknowledged frankly that their mine proposal would have a negative impact on mines in Queensland and elsewhere in Australia. The world thermal coal market is flat and likely to contract. No one is predicting any real growth. And while there's a debate amongst economists about whether this change in demand for thermal coal is cyclical or structural, a significant increase in the production of thermal coal will not lead to higher overall sales and prices. In statements this week, Mr Jonathan Van Rooyen, General Manager Investments for the Port of Newcastle's half-share owner Galilee, said that the Adani mine would unarguably reduce world coal prices and the volume of coal mined in the Hunter. He also said that the federal government would distort competition and create sovereign risk by subsidising Adani in a shrinking world coal market. He said, and I quote, "There's no avoiding the simple mathematics that if Turnbull succeeds in pushing between 25 million and 60 million tonnes of subsidised new coal into a flat world market, the volume of coal mined and exported from the Hunter and the Illawarra will decline, as will royalties collected by the New South Wales Government and the number of coal jobs in the Hunter and Illawarra," he said. And this echoes comments made in 2015 by senior Glencore Coal Division Executive Peter Freiberg, who criticised the possible federal government subsidy to Adani, saying bringing on additional tonnes with the aid of taxpayer money would materially increase the risk to existing coal operations and would distort competition and create sovereign risk by subsidising Adani in a shrinking world coal market. And in a report issued last week by the Australia Institute, entitled "Royalty Flush, the Risks to New South Wales Coal Royalty Revenue from Adani Subsidy," economist Rod Campbell said the subsidised development of the Adani mine represents a threat not just to Newcastle Port but to all mines in the Hunter. With flat world demand, subsidising a large amount of new coal supply is economic madness. To place this in some kind of perspective, the Saudis have something like 14% of the traded world market in oil. Did they get rich by flooding the market with oil, or by carefully rationing the supply to international markets? Australia has around 20% of the traded world market in thermal coal. In contrast to the Saudi approach, we have allowed as many mines as companies want to build to be approved. In my view, future approval processes not only need to be mindful of the cumulative impact on land and water, but also of the level of supply and likely demand and price to be obtained by the resource. After all, Mr Deputy President, the resource, contrary to the views expressed often by coal mining companies, does not belong to any mining company but to the wider community, and government has a responsibility to ensure that if the resource is developed or extracted, that the best price is obtained. While those in the federal government and elsewhere are supporting the proposed Adani mine, apparently on the basis that all development is good, they have been silent about the cost it would impose on other coal-producing regions, such as here in New South Wales. And it's clear that not all of Adani's coal would go to India, because in their evidence they said it would be less than half, which means that coal has to go somewhere else and it will come into our markets. So what is the New South Wales government doing to ensure that New South Wales coal is not displaced by the Adani mine if approved. Its do-nothing approach shows that they do not care about the jobs of coal miners in this state. New South Wales Labor will always stand with coal miners and their families.
Expired. Dr. Marine for